Hello students. Previously we have discussed about different weather conditions at different locations. What is a weather? Weather is the state of atmosphere at a particular place and time in regards heat or temperature of the air, dryness or dampness of the air, precipitation, humidity in the air, etc. But these weather conditions are short-lived. These weather conditions keeps on changing frequently. According season, we can experience such changes in the weather conditions at our surrounding. India has varieties of these weather conditions. For example, Rajasthan lies in a region with hot and dry air. Kashmir Valley lies in a region with cold and dry air. In Mumbai, the air is hot and humid. Students, in this discussion, the words hot and dry, hot and humid, cold and dry show the condition of the air. They relate to the content of moisture in the air. What is moisture? The proportion of water vapor in the air is called its humidity or moisture. Then how to measure this proportion of moisture or humidity in the air? Today we are going to learn that. Humidity or moisture in the air. Let us see. And now regarding the evaporation process, here some questions has been given in your textbook, page number 17. Use your brain power. First question, in which season do the clothes dry fast?
Rate of drying clothes is depend on rate of evaporation process, and evaporation process is depend on temperature of the air. Thus, we have noted that for drying clothes, evaporation process is the most important, and this evaporation process is depend on a weather condition of that place. If a weather condition of a place is hot and sunny, then temperature of that place increases, and as a result, rate of evaporation process also increases.
This evaporation process is depend on atmospheric or weather condition of that region. The rate of evaporation is more when intensity of a sun rays is high, especially in summer season. Within a short time, clothes on a clothesline will dry in open place in the summer season because of a faster evaporation process. Next question. In which season do the clothes take time to dry? What could be the reason behind it?
If weather condition is cloudy in such a region, then rate of evaporation decreases. If there are dark clouds in the sky, this condition indicates rainfall in such a region. Clouds in the sky can block light and heat received from the sun, making Earth's temperature cooler, especially during daytime. You have probably noticed this kind of cool down on a cloudy day. Due to decreasing in the temperature of air near the surface of the Earth in such a region, rate of evaporation process is also decreases. As a result, clothes on a clothesline will take more time for drying if there are clouds in the sky. Therefore, the clothes will take more time for drying if a weather condition is cloudy, especially in the rainy season. And now we will see how does the weather condition of cold weather and mild sun affects on the drying clothes process. Such a type of weather condition one can experience in the winter season. Such a type of the weather condition like a cold and a mild sun can be seen especially in the winter season and also seen at the mountainous regions because as we move towards the sky the temperature of the air decreases and as a result cold weather can be observed in such a region. Due to this decreased temperature of the air, the rate of evaporation process also decreases and as a result the clothes on a clothesline will dry slowly. They will take more time for drying due to low evaporation process caused by mild sun and cold weather. Therefore, the clothes will take more time for drying, especially in the winter season. Rate of drying clothes is depend on rate of evaporation process, and evaporation process is depend on temperature of the air. Thus, we have noted that the proportion of water vapor in the air is depend on the rate of evaporation process and evaporation process is depend on the temperature of the air. Let us see what is the humidity or moisture in the air. The proportion of water vapor in the air is called its humidity. First, we will revise what is the air. Air is a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen and minute amounts of other gases that surrounds the earth and forms its atmosphere. And molecules of moisture in the air is a result of evaporation process. And evaporation process is depend on the temperature of the air. The temperature of the air influencing the dryness and dampness of the air. The dryness and dampness of the air depends on the proportion of water vapor in the air. The dryness or dampness of the air depends on the proportion of water vapor. What is the dryness of air? Air without humidity or without moisture content, it is said dry air. And what is the dampness of the air? Dampness means wet air. Wet air is the air which has a high level of moisture. This condition can happen especially when the temperature is warm because a higher level will increase the capability of absorbing moisture in the air. This implies that warmer air can hold more moisture than the cold air. And how does the temperature of the air influencing the proportion of water vapor? As the air gets heated up, molecules in the air move faster and faster and the spread out and making hotter air less dense. That is why few molecules remains per unit volume in the hot air or in the warm air. These few but charged molecules in the air are able to bond with water vapor due to less density and high energy. Because water vapor absorbs heat during evaporation process. Thus, warmer air holds more moisture. Air can hold moisture in specific quantity at a specific temperature only. As air cools down, its moisture holding capacity reduces due to more density. As air cools down, its moisture holding capacity reduces. At a certain temperature, the moisture holding capacity of air becomes equal to the proportion of moisture present in it. This condition of the air is called saturation of the air. Now, let us try one activity for concluding what is a saturation of the air. Let us see.
And now, for concluding the saturation condition of the air, we are going to carry out one activity which has been given in your textbook, page number 17. Let us try this activity. Take a colander or tray which is a dipper in the center. Look at this colander which is a dipper in the center. On the flat part of the tray, make holes with the help of nails. Here we have used colander and holes are already there, so no need to do this. Now take a piece of sponge and keep the sponge on the center of the tray or colander. Look at this, a piece of sponge. Keep it on the center of the colander. Make sure there is no water in the sponge. How to sure? Just twist this sponge. Water is not trickling out. It means there is no water in the sponge. We are sure. And now pour water on the sponge with a big spoon. Look at this spoon. Now I am going to pour water on the sponge. Keep pouring water with the spoon till the sponge becomes wet with the water. After pouring 1 spoon of water, we have noted that this water absorbed by the sponge. The sponge still not become complete wet. When we are pouring water on the sponge, we expect that the water will trickle out from the sponge. We can say the sponge becomes wet with water. But after pouring 1 spoon of water, this water absorbed by the sponge. It means the sponge is still not become complete wet. For become complete wet, how many spoons of water it can absorb, we will see. Look at this second spoon of water. Now I am going to pour on the sponge. Look at here, water is trickling down. Look at here, water is trickling down in the form of water droplets. It means this sponge becomes complete wet. This implies that the sponge becomes complete wet with water. For become complete wet, this sponge absorbs 2 spoons of water. Even after the sponge becomes wet with water, if we pouring water on the sponge, we will see what would happen? Look at here. Water is trickling down from the spoon. If we keep pouring water on the sponge, water is trickling down in the form of water droplets. Look at these water droplets. These are water droplets falling down in the tray. Water is trickling out from the sponge and in the form of water droplets falling down through the holes of colander in the tray. Now we will see conclusions. What did we conclude after this activity? We have concluded that sponge is made of a loose fiber with lots of space between them. The holes between the sponge absorb the water and so the sponge material swells up with water. This piece of the sponge absorbed 2 spoons of water. Even after the sponge becomes wet, we continued pouring water. The water trickled down from the sponge. This implies that the water holding capacity of the piece of the sponge is fulfilled by 2 spoons. This makes it saturated. Let us suppose that the air is like the piece of sponge. How many spoons of water does the sponge absorb? After the sponge is full of water, drops of water start trickling out. One can tell the number of spoons of water required to make the water trickle down through the sponge by observation. We have observed 2 spoons of water. This implies that the water holding capacity of the sponge or imaginary of the air is fulfilled. This makes it saturated.
Similarly, when the proportion of moisture in the air exceeds its vapor holding capacity, precipitation in the form of rain or snow occurs on the earth. The moisture holding capacity of the air depends on its temperature. Higher the temperature, higher is the holding capacity. We have learned earlier that as we go higher in the sky, the air becomes cooler. So, as per this rule, as we go higher, the water vapor holding capacity of the air will decrease due to more density of the air in a low temperature.
This humidity in the air is expressed in different ways. Next time, we will learn these different ways.